Welcome back to another Dream Small Business Framework, y'all. I'm so happy to be here with you all, my solopreneurs, my entrepreneurs, whether you're in your early growth stages of your business or if you're in mid-size or big business, doesn't matter. Today, we are honing down on content as a part of our framework and our success in our business because content is absolutely necessary. I want you to think of content as your virtual brick and mortar. We're taking up space on the YouTube block, okay? Or if you have chosen another social media platform, that's perfectly fine. YouTube is my platform of choice, and so that is my area of focus and what I talk about most. But regardless, its information applies no matter what. So we're going to jump right into today's conversation. Solos, or even if you have a team and you're no longer a solopreneur, I need you to understand something about your content. Your audience is not just watching for information, they are watching for a transformation. Let me explain. Think about your favorite content creator and why you continuously watch their content. They're not just providing you with entertainment. So you're not just streaming content for entertainment, right? And okay, let's say your favorite content creator is actually creating entertaining content. That entertainment is still giving you something, whether it's joy, whether it's a sense of relief after a long day of work, happiness, or even ideas. Okay? There's some sort of relation. They feel relatable. This is the reason why you continue to tune into the same type of content or the same content creator. They, in some way, are transforming your hour, your life, okay, your day. And I want you to think of your content as doing the same thing. So, when we have the conversation in regards to content, especially as we started these webinars earlier on this year, right? My goal has always been to just get you to post because most of the entrepreneurs are new or at least very early in their content creation stage. And typically, what happens in this very new state is that a majority of the time we are too busy looking at ourselves. So we're not posting content either at all or consistently because we're camera shy, because we're introverts, because we don't know what to say, because we don't want to look or sound funny, all of these things. And that we need to get out of the way. So the best way to do that is to just post the content that you already have because content provides us feedback. Your audience is going to tell you exactly what they appreciate about your content and what they want more of. And that's the content that you'll continue to create going forward. So it's never about you, it's always about your audience. Now, we've spent half of the year doing that. So now it's time to shift. We need to shift from just producing informative content to transformative content. This really dawned on me from reading Myron Golden's Boss Moves books. You already know that's my guy. That is my virtual mentor. Okay. So this book is literally all that I have needed in my life to start to produce content and consistently and to the degree that I'm ripping through my bag here so I can make sure I get it out so y'all see it. Okay. Myron Golden's Boss Moves book. Okay. Business Optimization Success Secrets from $1 Million Roundtable. Myron Golden, who has been an entrepreneur for over a decade, but recently started to monetize on YouTube once he hired a team who understood YouTube very well, and that YouTube will pay you money for producing content, which is money that your business needs. Okay. So, with him being able to successfully start to monetize his content and him consistently producing content, Myron Golden now has over 1 million subscribers and his content is free. However, he also has content in a written script that you can read. And this has been so valuable for me. And so I'm taking this right out of Myron's playbook. Myron says that people don't pay for what you know, they pay for what your knowledge helps them to become. And that makes so much sense because what do we pay for? We pay for the same things, right? When we make a purchase is because it's solving some problem for us, and it doesn't matter how big the purchase is, size is insignificant. All of our purchases to some degree has importance, priorities, or is able to provide something even if it's for a moment. No matter what, we're looking for a transformation or payoff from purchasing a product or a service. And we want to provide our audience, our leads, our customers with the same thing. So people don't pay for just your knowledge. So we can no longer continue to create content with just shooting out information at people. We want to be able to identify who our audience is. We want to clarify our market message and ensure that we're talking directly to our consumers. So Myron has helped me to even transform my market message, which I'm very grateful for because as a full-time fitness coaching consultant, where I started in my fitness journey was with providing one-on-one training. Well, I started with group classes when I started at I Love Kickboxing, right? So I was working in a studio, but shortly after that, I was laid off because of the pandemic. And from the pandemic, that afforded me to begin working one on one with my clients online. And while this was very helpful for on both sides, right? I was able to help my first client lose more than 20 pounds in 8 months from a majority of virtual coaching, a majority. So we started 2 months, we were doing in person. I lived in New Jersey at the time, and so did she. And then I came back to New York. So we continued on in virtual coaching. And she successfully reached her goal with me by doing one-on-one coaching. But what I found is that the more clients that I began to take on and do one-on-ones with them, was the less time that I actually had. And the less time that I had, I found that I was capped at how many clients I can actually take on one-on-one, which means that I was also capped at my money. So this is also money that I was using to fund my personal habits and endeavors, but then also what I wanted to fund back into my business, right? Because we have to reinvest back in our business. So I created this ceiling over my head for myself. And what Myron has taught me is that I need to be more specific in who I'm willing to coach from a one-on-one perspective. So I can still do group coaching, which I still do, okay? And I can help more people, right, through one class than helping all of those people through one-on-one training. So now my audience and my customers, my consumers, they get to benefit, my clients get to benefit from me doing group sessions, but then my one-on-ones, right? Because I still had that issue of when I was taking one-on-ones, I was capped at a certain amount of hours that I can give to one-on-ones. I was capped at a certain amount of clients that I could take on because there's just not enough time in a day, right? It's not just the training, but it's the commute. And most of it was in person, some of it was virtual. Okay. But even virtual is not a sustainable process. And honestly, it's still taxing. Just because I get to stay at home and I'm with my client over the screen, it's still very exhausting when you have multiple clients to train one on one. And so I needed to have a look at what made the most sense in terms of what I was able to provide in value for my clients, and also how I was able to reinvest back in myself. And very important, y'all, the reason that we start businesses typically, right, is not just for more money, right? We want to buy back our time. And so when we're buying back our time, not only do we have prosperity and abundance, but we're actually able to do the things that we want to do and that we love to do, spend more time with our family and travel without being tied down to a particular task, duty, or job. That's the whole point of us being in a business, right? But what I found that was in building a business, I didn't have that freedom. So what I had to do is I had to become very specific about the people and the clients that I was willing to coach one on one. So right now, my one on ones are for busy business professionals. That those are clients that I take on for one on one coaching. Let me tell you what this has solved for me. First of all, we talked about those four offers that we need to have, right? So every webinar, we talk about the Dream Small Business Framework. We talk about the four corners of the framework. We have offers, leads, content, and systems, right? So when it comes to offers, I've always talked to you guys about the four offers. We have our lead generation offer, we have our core offer, we have a high premium ticket offer, and then we have a continuity offer. Our lead offer is going to be our content. That's usually free or low ticket value, right? So content is free, it's open source. You get to go onto YouTube and you get to actually receive education and training in a thing just from you, just from going on YouTube alone, right? Long are the days that you actually have to go to school to learn something new. You can literally go to YouTube University. So we have our free content, our lead generation system. Okay. We put this content in front of a mass amount of audience. We put some links in our description and let people know how they could get in contact with us so that they could purchase our services or our products, or at least they can continue to have a conversation with us. Yeah. So that's our lead generation system. That's our lead offer. Then we have a core offer like Myron Golden's Boss Moves book here, right? This is Myron's core offer. He created this one time. He produces several copies and he sells it while he sleeps. He sells several of these overnight. Okay, so that's a core offer. You create it once, and then you don't have to create it again. Okay. Then you have a high premium ticket offer. Now, your high premium ticket offer is just as it sounds. It is a high sale item, right? Those are the big bucks. That's what you actually want to sell a lot of, if possible, right? You want to sell a lot of high ticket offers. Not to say that if you sell a lot of core offers, that won't lead to a lucrative income, because it absolutely can. But you also want to sell a lot of your high ticket offers, and you should absolutely have a high ticket offer to produce to someone if they asked you for it. And then you have your continuity offer, which is like your subscription models. Okay. So my coaching for busy business professionals for in-person training one-on-one is actually only offered to this select group of people. I have clarified my message. It is for busy business professionals. Okay. And typically, what I've found through doing this is that busy business professionals can actually afford my one-on-one coaching, which has went up in price as well. You see, beforehand, when I wanted to increase the price, because I realized, like, wow, this is a lot of work. I need to actually price this more accurately to the labor that I'm putting in, my travel costs, the equipment, etc. Okay, format, playlist, I got you on all of that, right? I need to actually make this make sense monetarily. And when I did that, what I noticed was is that a majority of the people that wanted to work with me couldn't afford me. And so all that meant was, it did not mean that I needed to decrease the value of what I was offering. It means that I needed to make sure that I was marketing it to the right group of people, the group of people who can afford it and want it. Now, this doesn't take away from the group of people who still wanted to train with me. I have group classes. If you want to come to my group classes at Lucia Roberts in Queens, you can come to my group classes. I teach there 4 times a week. And I have had clients who have consistently come to my classes and who come up to me after class and tell me about the transformations that they've had from coming to classes. So you can absolutely reach your goals going to group classes, right? My clients have absolutely reached their goals and coming to group classes. They get to see me in person still, and still talk to me about their personal endeavors, because I never not talk to people. It's not like when they come up to me and they're like, hey, Shay, I've been doing these classes for 4 or 5 months now. I'm not seeing the needle move on the scale. What do you think? And I'm just like, nope, you can only talk to me if we're doing in person training, right? They still have access to me. So we still get to have this conversation, which is still my lead generation content in person. Okay. So you still get to receive in person coaching to some degree. And then the classes are taken care of. The gym membership is way more affordable than my high ticket premium offer, right? And you're still able to receive the transformation, information and transformation. Okay. So now that affords me that for 4 hours a week at this gym, 4 hours, not 4 days, 4 hours a week at this gym, I can help a mass amount of people, up to 60 people, train and reach their fitness goals. Okay. And now, since I created this business in order to buy back my time, I have priced my in person coaching as such so that it's able to cover my overhead cost and so that it's rewarding still for me to be able to commute and to train with this person for 90 minutes, however many times a week, to help them reach their goal. And then it's affordable for them for me to do that because when we have the money to do something, right? What do we pay for? We pay for convenience, right? So a lot of us, we might choose to order out or get takeout versus cooking at home. Why? Simply for the convenience. It's not because it tastes better, right? It's, I mean, it might be, but it's mostly because for the convenience, right? So the same thing happens when you are providing value to your high premium clients who are able to pay the high ticket offer. They're not worried about the fact that you're charging $1,000, $2,000, $5,000. Myron Golden charges at least $50,000 for an hour worth of time to just speak with him. It's not insane. He helps people 10x their income. So it would make sense that to pay, if it was $10,000 for 1 hour to speak to a coach who was going to help you make $100,000 from that conversation. So think about it like that, y'all. We have to make sure that we are shifting our mindset to understand that we are exchanging value. It's not about the dollar amount, it's about the value. And we're always giving more value to our clients or even to our audience on the front end, right? And then it's perfectly fine if they end up making more money, if they end up losing more weight than we did, right? That's how I look at it. If someone reaches their goal and they look absolutely amazing, they feel great, and they feel so confident that other areas in their life starts to fall into place, I'm not going to be like, wow, I'm not charging the right amount of money because they're so successful. I know for a fact that I'm charging the right amount of money because the value was more than what they paid for. That is what gets people to keep coming back to your business. That's what makes them tell their friends and their family members so that they come to their business, because we know word of mouth advertisement is the best, first, longest history running method of advertisement there is. And that's what we want, y'all. That's what we want. If we don't have to pay for ad spends, if we don't have to pay for advertisement, we're saving money so that we can invest it back into something else. The best form of advertisement is going to be from word of mouth. And what I absolutely love is that I have this testimony. I have clients who have been able to reach their fitness goals, right? And who have gotten way more than what they have paid for. So the first client that I mentioned that was out in Jersey, very shortly after she reached her fitness goal and she was able to not just maintain, but to sustain the lifestyle and her fitness habits, she found a new job. She got engaged, right? Her relationship wasn't working while we were working together. And shortly after we weren't working together because she reached her goals, she she got into a new relationship, then she got engaged. Now she's married and she looks great. She looks great. She feels great. And the habits that we started, How many years ago is that now? 5 years, 6 years ago now, is still working for her. Right? So it's not like she doesn't have to keep training with me. She already knows what to do. She took the information that I gave her, which led to a transformation, and now she's just sustaining it, y'all. People don't pay for what you know, they pay for your knowledge, for what it helps them to become. Okay? So I have two other examples of how I helped my clients take a look at their message to their market in regards to content. So, another client that I'm connected with, she was able to start her channel and start to post content. So, most of the channel and most of the content that she published is very informative. Now, she is a herbologist or a herb doctor, okay? That's at least how I see her. Shout out to a sunrise seeker, all right? And she knows a lot about herbal medicine, okay? And she also creates products from herbs. She has a bomb popcorn, which is absolutely amazing. She also has these amazing teas and other herbal drinks and some other herbal products, right? But most of her content was very informative. So, what we discussed on our previous call was, now how can people take this information and transform their lives with it? So now we don't need to recreate new content. We get to just make the content that we already published better. So, in one piece of content where she was going down a list of herbs, one thing in particular that I heard was a herb that was really good for respiratory health. So, people who specifically suffer from asthma. Now, let's stop here for a second. So, when we talk about transformation, I want to be clear. Transformation happens because someone has a need, they have a problem, and they need a solution. They need help solving that problem. So, think about it. Asthma is a problem, it's a common problem for many. So, instead of just creating content with a list of herbs, why not focus in on herbs that specifically cure or at least significantly reduces asthma attacks or asthma problems for asthmatics? And now when we speak about message to market, instead of just being like, hey, these are all of the products that I have, or this was the last event that I went to, and these were the things that I was selling and talking to people about. Now you get to niche down and hone in or something. She gets to just create content on just that. Hey, want to solve your asthma problems? Use this concoction. Use my special concoction, right? And then when you click on this video, a person that has asthma is going to click on that video because they really, if not desperately, want to be able to significantly reduce their asthma if that is a problem for them, if they are suffering from this problem specifically. And if your special concoction actually works, you have now solved my problem. Therefore, you have created a transformation for me. Right? So it's really important that we're not just giving information, that we're delivering on the transformation. What happens when I use your product? What happens when I use your service? Right? From watching her content, I wasn't aware that people can actually ingest catnip. And then it made so much sense because it's just herbs, right? So catnip has this very specific effect for cats, but there's also a human effect. And so she spoke about this in this piece of content, but it was very short. Now I'm like, I'm so interested in knowing what it does for humans. I want content just on that. So if I was to comment that, right? So someone leaves a comment on your content and they comment about that. Now you should create content just for that person, because you're not creating content just for that person. It is a one to many transaction. It is a one to many sale. It's a one to many solution. So you create that piece of content answering that person's question, but you answer several hundreds, even thousands, and on YouTube, millions of people's questions. You're solving millions of people's problems before you know it. And this is based off of your knowledge, the information that you know. But people are not paying you for what you know. They're paying you because they can now take the information that you gave them, implement it into their lives, and now have a transformation happen from it. So there is a payoff. It makes so much sense. And guess what? If I'm not making this concoction at home for myself, you sell it, right? So I don't even have to do it myself. I can actually just purchase it from your store using the link in your description down below. This is how it works, y'all. We want to be able to have our content convert sales. Okay. So we need to make sure we're delivering the transformation. So I'm going to give you another example. Another entrepreneur that I'm working with right now. Shout out to Visions of Peace. Okay. Visions of Peace is a absolutely phenomenal yogi. Okay. And in our last conversation, where she now holds yoga classes in Queens, New York, in Spa Castle, which is absolutely incredible. You literally go to Spa Castle and you spend your whole day inside of this castle, and they have all kinds of delicious treats for you: pools, saunas, steam rooms, massages, igloos, lounges, rooftop penthouse. It's absolutely amazing. She hosts yoga classes there. Yoga classes are super affordable. Okay. And then when you come to the classes, you actually get a percentage off of admission prices or other items inside of Spa Castle. So we can create a message to the market that says, hey, I'm holding these yoga classes at Spa Castle. Come through. Or once again, we could create this high premium experience, right? The Spa Castle itself already is a premium experience. So the class should actually feel like that too. But now we're talking about using content to promote the service. Okay. So who is this for? Because we could call everybody. That's perfectly fine. We could get our friends and our family to come out. They should. They could take advantage of it. It's not like Spot Castle is only for corporate members, right? It's for everybody. So yeah, definitely invite your friends and family. But then how about those busy professionals that work not even 40 hours a week, sometimes 60, 80 hours a week, and they desperately need to rejuvenate, to recreate themselves, to rest, to relax, to find some relief from all the noise of work, of being that busy professional. So now, when we are talking to busy professionals, that's exactly who we have to address. So we can't just say, hey, I'm hosting yoga classes at Spa Castle, come through. The message needs to be, hey, are you a busy professional who works 60, 80 hours a week or more? And you haven't had time off to yourself in God knows how long? Well, let me tell you about this amazing experience and deal that's happening at Spa Castle. And then we create this sense of urgency and scarcity so that those busy professionals know they have to come now, right? They have to come on these dates. This is not something that's always going to be. It's not going to last. You got to come now, and you deserve it. So why not come now? And then we get to talk to those busy professionals about the benefits of yoga and how it helps busy professionals to do X, Y, and Z, in addition to the offerings that's at Spa Castle. So now it's this all encompassing relaxation day. It's almost like a vacation, right? Depending on how we're marketing this, but we want to be very specific in who we're talking to. And then if you're to do this thing, what is the transformation that will happen? You'll leave feeling like a brand new person. You'll leave being able to be more productive than you were the previous week where you were feeling burnout. Spend time in my yoga class and then hop into the hot springs, and you'll see that you'll start to receive new ideas for your business. Like, there's so many ways that you can market it. But I'm saying this to say that this is more than just coming on to create content and just speaking about all of the information. It's not just the information about yoga. It's what yoga can do when you take these classes. What's the transformation that happens? You'll immediately feel a sense of relief. You'll immediately feel more confident. You immediately feel the effects of the challenges that you impose on yourself. And now you're ready to take on the challenges in your business, knowing that you're going to come through on the other side. Right. And I'm spitballing things. I'm not a yoga instructor. Okay. So I'm spitballing some stuff. But this is the conversation that I had with my last client. We have to get more specific about the message that we're sending to our specific market. Who is that market? Is it for everyone or is it not? Is it for family or friends or is it not? Is it for these busy business professionals? Is it for educators? Is it for coaches and consultants? Is it for tradesmen? Who is this for? And then we need to ensure that we are speaking to the payoff and the transformation in the content. We're giving that away in the content. We're not waiting. So we're not giving information and then it's like, hey, if you want to learn more, then make sure you click the link down in the description. No, you want to take advantage of this right now, you're going to click the link down in the description. Okay, if you're ready to buy and the person needs to connect with you first, you're going to do this next step. Maybe it's a discovery call before you figure out exactly what it is that they're opting into if you have several offers, right? It is so important, y'all, that we are very clear with our market and that in our content, we're showing our audience how to create the transformation for themselves. And if they can't do it just by watching the content, that they have a direct outlet to you so you can help them, because there's those group of people too. There's the do it yourself people and there's the I want it done for me people. So you have two ways of offering that. Your content can help people do it themselves. So there's no gatekeeping of the information. Give away the value. You want people to 10x their income or even 10x their transformation so that they keep coming back to your business. That's the way that we shop as well. It's not different, it's the same thing. Okay. So it's so important that we're giving away everything in our content so that the people that are coming to you are the ones who are actually willing and capable of paying you for your services, whatever they may be. Now, this doesn't mean that you don't need to alter prices sometimes, right? We need to make sure that we are learning, right, of who our market is and what they're able to do, what they're able to accomplish. So if your only high ticket offer is $5,000 and you still continue to meet people who cannot afford that, you're going to direct them back to your content. But if you're not landing anyone for 5,000, or if you're not landing anyone for 5,000 up front, then there's several alternatives that you could do, right? You could set up flex payment plans, or you can have a sliding scale or retainer fee. There's so many ways to be able to still receive your value, right, in exchange for what you're giving your clients. So do what makes the most sense for your market, right? But then also don't bend so much that now you're back in the position where you're burnt out, you're paying for your own overhead, right? And then you're not profiting. So there's no way to reinvest back into yourself and then back into your business. That obviously doesn't make sense. So we have to do things that make sense. Okay. So go over your numbers and make sure that they're correct. So picking arbitrary numbers may not work. You need to understand what your overhead cost is, what you need to pay for upfront, and how much of that belongs actually to your clients and your customers, right? And then are you profiting? Is your business profiting? If you are not profiting and making sales in your business, you don't have a business. So it's important to make sure that you are charging the right amount at the right time. Okay? So I'm I'm pretty much done. That's what I got for y'all. I want you to be able to take a moment to look at the content that you've already published if you have published content on your YouTube channel already. How can you improve the content that's already there? Check your comments. Have you gotten any comments about anything specific within that message of that piece of content? Because if you did, if you have a question, answer the question. Or if you had a comment that said, really appreciated this information, go deeper in on it now. Create a new piece of content on that topic still. Don't change the topic, the same topic, and then go deeper into that topic. Okay. And then also rewatch your content because you're going to find ways that you can improve your content. Was your hook strong? Right? Uh, did you go over all of the points that you actually meant to go over? Does it transition well? Are there call to actions? What's your description box is looking like? Okay, so revisit the content that you've already posted. And of course, if you haven't posted any content yet, then this information, you get to take it and implement it from the jump. Okay, don't just post information, give the transformation in the content, and then also create a way, an outlet for people to stay connected with you who needs more help. So that means they can't do it themselves from just the content. Okay. They need to connect further with you, and you create the outlet and the pathway for them to do this. So I help entrepreneurs, coaches, and creators every day, every week, design content that doesn't just get likes, right? But it actually builds trust and it attracts leads who turns into clients and positions their offers as irresistible solutions. Okay. But you actually have to do this now. So it's one thing to just listen to this content, y'all. I actually need you to do it. I have also created a pathway for you to connect with me. We could jump on a discovery call where you could ask me a specific question and I can help you with that question. That'll take you to the next step for your content. Okay. Just the next step for your content. Okay. We focus on practicality in this framework. These are proven strategies and they're timeless business principles. Okay. All of these business principles, by the way, they're not created by me. They're inspired by thought leaders like Myron Golden. This book has transformed my life and has transformed my business. By the way, because it's such a short and easy read, like super short and easy, y'all. There's even pictures in here and everything, okay? It's not a lot of words. It's amazing. And it's easy to get through this book several times over. All right? So I'm just about on my fifth time reading this book because there's so much value in this less than 200-page book, which I have a link down below in my description box for you to secure your own copy so that as we have these conversations, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know exactly what Myron's talking about. And then it goes further and deeper into the conversation so that you are super clear. Now, Myron speaks somewhat about content in this book. I'm definitely focused on content. So as you read this book and then we talk about content, it only makes more and more sense because content is your advertisement. YouTube is your marketing tool. You cannot successfully, globally, expansively sell your products and services without having an omnipresence online. And having an omnipresence online just means that you need digital marketing. Okay. You need digital marketing. You're your own advertisement for now. And that's okay. Okay. The content will help to grow and influence your income. Okay. So I need you to do I need you to do two things specifically. Well, I need you to do a few things. We're not going to limit it to two. First, I need you to subscribe and hit the notification bell if you haven't already so that you know the next time I drop content like this, which is every Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a live webinar, mostly live. Sometimes there's a recording, but it's mostly live. You get to spend time with me. Okay, let me actually make sure I'm checking the comments here. Oh, what's up, Madi? Good to see you, Mama. Yes. Okay, so I need you to subscribe and hit the notification bell. That's going to be your reminder. Okay, so I send out emails. Yes, but just hit the notification so that it'll pop up on your phone and then you know when I go live. And even if you miss it live, you'll see the notification later so you could go back and watch it at another time. Okay. If you like this content, great. I appreciate the thumbs up. But what I appreciate even more is the comments because I get to know that you appreciate this content too. Or if you have questions, then I can answer your questions just like Madi did here. She needed to hear this. And I know a lot of us need to hear this. So this is our reminder because this is our community, y'all. We keep each other accountable. So Madi, what's your YouTube channel? I need you on it, sis. What we got to do? Let's connect, right? Madi makes candles and hosts events and teaches you how to make candles and not just make candles, a whole experience, no? You teach people how to make a whole experience. And so it's not just about candles. Think about the effects of candles and the transformation that happens when you have a candle in your house, or if you have candles at your event, or even if you make candles for an event, a sip and pour, right? Yeah. Like, we want to see this. We want to see this content. We want to know more about your business for sure. Right? Come on, get back to making videos, sis. We out here. Even if you could do it even once a week. Mind you, I say this to y'all all the time. My solopreneurs, I get it. I'm still a solopreneur too. Okay. If I hire, it's for a job. It's not I don't have anyone on payroll yet. Okay. So guess what? How do I hold myself accountable to creating content once a week? Because there's no excuses, because there's no limitations. We're shifting mindset. There's no limitations. We're prioritizing what is important to us into our business. That's all it is. And content needs to be a priority. It has to. And we want to have a large and expansive outreach, right? So, how do I hold myself accountable to making sure that I create content once a week? Because it was hard for me too. That was what I was telling myself. It's hard. I don't have time. All of these excuses that are just that because there's only priorities. If you're not creating content once a week, you're doing something else. It's just about priorities. Okay. So I don't feel bad about the word excuse. All right. As a coach, I have to call us out because I do with my fitness clients all the time. There's no way that I could have a one-to-one client and we're scheduled for Thursdays at 10 o'clock and they don't show up at 10 o'clock just because they don't want to or they don't feel like it. They have to make it a priority or we can't work together, right? So there's consequences, and there's consequences for us in our business. We are leaving money on the table when we're not creating content because content is another way to diversify our income stream. YouTube will pay you thousands of dollars for your content that reaches people and provides them with a payoff, a transformation. So here's the way that I hold myself accountable. I host webinars every Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I've committed to that for a year. And since I verbalized that every single Saturday with you, guess who has to show up every single Saturday, whether y'all show up or not at Saturdays at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time? Shayna's here, right? So I've committed to that. I've verbalized that to the world. So now I feel super accountable for myself. Because if I don't show up, I can expect that someone's going to be like, yo, where's the content? You said you was going to be here, right? And even if they didn't, I'm not one to sell myself short. We have to hold ourselves accountable. And if you can't, that's okay. Get an accountability buddy. You ain't alone. We go faster and further together. Now, I would love to create content daily, but two things. I'm not sure that that's necessary. There's plenty of successful content creators that don't create content daily. That's number one. So, long goes the conversation about creating content daily, but you should post once a week. And here's the thing, maybe you're not hosting webinars or doing live streams, or maybe you can't produce an hour's worth of content, right? That's okay, because they have something called shorts on YouTube. And guess how long guess how long a short is? Well, it's up to 3 minutes on YouTube now, but shorts were originally 60 seconds. And that's just about the amount of time someone's willing to watch your content anyway. Tell me that you don't have 60 seconds worth of content in your albums, in your photo album, in your phone right now that you can post, that you could do a voiceover over, or you could put some text over and talk about, right? Talk about your product, your service, and that payoff for that transformation. You don't even have to do 60 seconds. You know, short could be 15 seconds. And actually, sometimes people prefer that because that's the way that we're being programmed. We're being programmed to scroll through things so quickly. So, instant gratification. We want to see a thing and get right to the point. Okay, you could do that in 15 seconds. Don't tell me you cannot create content. You don't have 15 seconds. You don't have 60 seconds to diversify your income stream in your business. That's what's happening. You don't have 15 seconds to diversify the income stream in your business. You don't have 15 seconds to monetize your content. We have to shift our mindset. It's too important. We're leaving money on the table. So if it's not feasible to prioritize long form content, try short form content, less than 8 minutes. If that is currently not feasible, things happen, things come up, and sometimes you just can't do it. So 15 seconds it is, 60 seconds it is. Just post, y'all, and make sure that you are letting your audience know you're giving them a call to action. You need them to subscribe. Do you need them to click the link in the description? Do you need them to leave you a comment? Do you need them to follow you on another platform because you're more active there? Like, what do you need? Call to actions in all of your content. Unless you don't have one, then that's okay. If you are just giving out the free value, that's fine. Because let me tell you something. Your audience, your customers, they're going to reach out to you. They want something that you have, or they want to know something more. They're going to reach out. But I'll tell you one thing. They can't reach out if you're not producing the content first. It needs to get done. Madi, I'm about to follow you right now and stalk your channel. Okay. I appreciate y'all. Let's make sure that we're staying in community. So when I say staying in community, y'all, you need to surround yourself with like-minded people for what you want to become. That is why I go to the gym, because there's other people there who want to do the same thing, right? So we have similar mindsets. We're like-minded. We're all having the same conversations around health and fitness. And we need to do the same thing when it comes to business. So how many entrepreneurs are you staying connected to every week? Every week. How many people are you how many entrepreneurs are you staying connected with every week? Do you currently have a mentor or a coach? If not, do you have an accountability buddy? Right? At least an accountability buddy. Because if you can't hold yourself accountable, because life happens, there's a lot going on. Have that person that's going to check in and be like, yo, you said you was going to post content last week. I'm waiting on it, sis. My uncle does that. My uncle presses me, y'all. Okay. Shout out to you, Uncle C. I'm pretty sure he'll watch my content, and then he'll tell me, he gives me raw, honest feedback. But he's also an entrepreneur. It's not just my uncle. He's also an entrepreneur too, and he's also building his channel. So we connect. We talk with one another and we check in on each other's businesses. We hold each other accountable. You did you do what you said that you was going to do last week? Okay? So make sure you are networking with other entrepreneurs. You have to surround yourself with like-minded people if you want to transform yourself, if you want to transform your business. Okay? Stay in connection. Look at me. I'm so proud of myself because I've been trying to do this in under an hour. I still got 10 minutes to spare, but I ain't going to hold y'all. I appreciate y'all joining me for this Dream Small Business Framework live webinars every Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Even if they're not live, I promise that I got content for you at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Saturday because that's what I have committed to for 1 year. So we'll see what happens next May. But until then, y'all, stay connected, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.